my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Thursday, June 6, 2024, and this is another daily episode. I started my Thursday very good. I had some coffee and a little bit of crochet, and I also had my morning walk, my weekly excavator. I googled that word. My weekly excavator routine, the walk with a friend's toddler. That was very nice. And I see our caravan is standing in front of our door. It is for sale since yesterday evening. I made a little video. I shared it on my Instagram with all the pictures from the last 12 years. And it was very sentimental. It made me emotional. It is quite hard to let the caravan go, not in a bad way. It is absolutely right. It's good to let sometimes to let things go, to say goodbye to the old things, to make space for the new things. And it's really the right time and really the right decision to say goodbye. But I love that caravan so much. It's such a wonderful thing. So I really hope it will find a new happy family for some happy time. And I really also hope it will be a crocheter or a knitter, because my caravan is used to all the crochet and knitting. But anyway, I started with my sewing pattern with the estuary skirt, not the holy skirt, not the sanctuary skirt, but the estuary skirt I will make. Let me show you.
I'll let you go, just need some time. At your own pace, you need to find your way. I know now you'll never.
I always print my patterns, my sewing patterns at home, and when you do that, you have to paste them together with some tape. We call this plakband in Dutch. I don't mind doing that. It's like a very easy puzzle. You only have to be sure that those parts are connecting in the right way with the right numbers. And I really think this is an easy, slow down task to do. But someone was commenting under one of my latest videos that you don't have to cut all the ends off, you can fold them. And I don't mind the cutting part, but I was curious and I tried, and it's really working out good. So I don't need my scissors. I just fold the pattern when I need to, and I paste them together, and it will be the base of my new skirt. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, this is also happening. It's not the first time. I also had the same experience when I was making my hinterland dress pattern. I think it's caused by our printer. We have a very old printer, and it's when it's printing and it grabs the paper, it's a bit shocky, and I think the papers are not all in the same. In the same, but not details. It goes this way a little bit. So it's not printed perfectly on the paper. And I know that it's not supposed to be this way on a sewing pattern. Definitely not this way. And it's interesting what's happening, because a part of me really wants to do it perfect. And there's also a part in me that thinks, let it go. You can make a skirt without the perfect squares. When the pattern is not perfectly perfect, it's also good. It will also work out. And that is what is happening with my hinterland dress. I can make perfect dresses. Also with those squares this way. And I think when I really want to try to avoid the wobbly squares, then I lose the fun in my sewing. Of course, I can choose to print the pattern at a copy shop, but I'm too lazy to go to that. And for me, it's a good practice in my imperfectionism. Not perfect is also good. And I think it's really something I recognize in my real life. There is a part of me that really wants to follow the rules and really wants to be organized and neat and under control. But there's also a part of me which is going her own way and doesn't want to follow rules and just fix it anyway, even if the circumstances are not optimal. So that's a nice life lesson in my sewing pattern.
Something that matters to me. You do not know what I have in mind. Our packed our bags, we'll be on our way. The night was long as I waited without a sign. A sign of what matters to you. But what do you want? What's your biggest need? Every hour we spend together, then suddenly the chances are small, just like the lottery.
So I managed to stop my focus on my sewing pattern. It was really hard. I was pasting all the pieces of the pattern together, taping them together. I don't think pasting is the good word. I felt exactly what I expected, a kind of sewing rush. I didn't want to stop. I want to go on and on and on because the pattern, when I taped it all together, it was a very big piece of paper, and I thought, oh, it's a bit hard to store that piece in one piece. So maybe I can already start the cutting. But I realized I didn't take my measurements yet for the skirt. I have no idea which size I want to make. So I had to do that first. And then I thought, oh, I can also cut the biggest size, and then I can also do a second cut for the size I need. And suddenly I realized, oh no, here we go again, the rabbit hole of the sewing rush. And lucky me, I suddenly remembered that my knitting was also at a certain point that I really want to work further on it. So that really helped me to get away from the sewing pattern. I just rolled it up and put an elastic piece around it, and we will go further another day. I already spent more time than I planned at the taping process, and now I'm sitting with my Sommerknus, and it's on an interesting point. I will put my needle stoppers on it so I can show you without losing stitches. I am at the bottom ribbing. Yeah, I think it has the right length. That's quite exciting. I think it has, because I didn't measure it. It's a bit of knitting on the edge. I have a very peaceful and slow life, and every now and then I need some excitement in my life. So I do exciting things with my knitting, binding off without measuring. That's a joke. No, actually not. It's not a joke. It's really... let me explain. I think I'm at the right point. I will film it detailed for you so you can see what I mean. I started the ribbing, and it's a bit of an exciting moment because I didn't do any measurements. I also don't know what the pattern is telling, but you are seeing the T from the back. These are the short rows. You have a stockinette part, a stockinette section, a ribbing section, a lace section, another ribbing section, a broken rib section, and those are all the sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there is a repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same sections, and then there is a stockinette again. And the point is, my ribbing is a knit 2 purl 2, and when I would add one section, it would be a knit 1 purl 1, and I don't like the knit 1 purl 1 to be here followed up by the knit 2 purl 2 ribbing. I don't want that. So then I have to add another section, but I am afraid it would be too long. And of course I can change the way the sections follow up, but I also don't like that. So yeah, it's a bit of an exciting moment in my easy peasy knitting life. Okay, I did take some measurements and I think I am reassured. I didn't know that word, I searched for it, but I hope it's the right choice for the feeling I want to describe. I know that 23 centimeters from armhole to ribbing is a size I used before. And this is, you can't see it really now. It's a bit hard to measure with one hand, but it is 23 centimeters, and of course I will add a little bit more, so I think it's the perfect length. Okay. Finished the bind off of my Sommerknus blouse. I think she calls it like that. Yeah, I'm happy, but it's not the way I want it to be. So let me explain that to you. I am very happy with the fit. I love the fit, I love the neckline, I love the texture, I love how it looks on me. And I, to be honest, didn't expect that because I thought that the round yoke and the neckline would be not exactly what I want to be. But it's really, I've added one extra short row and it's not that as high as all at all. It's really, yeah, I don't know. It has the perfect amount of ease, a little bit of positive ease. It's really, really making me happy. But it's not the way I want it to be yet, because the bottom, maybe you saw me, I did put it on my dress downstairs and it was the right length on my dress, but I was very curious how it would be on a skirt because I planned this shirt to wear on skirts. And I was a bit afraid, a bit worried that it would be too short, but I think it's pretty okay. I have the feeling this fabric will stretch out lengthwise a little bit, but when it does, I can tuck it into my skirt. I love to tuck my shirts and tees in my skirt too, so that's perfect. But for now, it's the perfect length this way. The only thing is, it flares out too much at the bottom, way more than I want to. And yeah, I realized I forgot one of my tricks to provide that. I didn't need it for quite a while, and this is exactly the way I work quite often. I try something, it doesn't work out, I knit back or I frog it or rip out a little bit and try again, and sometimes several times to find the way I really want it to be. And for me, it doesn't work to think before I will do the work and to plan it. I just learn on the way. That's really an important thing I learned from my knitting and crochet. It also works in the rest of my life that way. And I always thought that was a bad thing, that it wasn't good to learn that way, that it would be better when you won't make mistakes. But thanks to knitting and crochet, I learned that making mistakes is my learning strategy. So I don't mind making mistakes. It's just they are leading me to the perfect end result, to the end result I want. So my mistakes are my guides. Can you say it like that? And I used to be very hard on myself when I made a mistake, but now it's okay. The mistake tells me which way I have to go, and they are actually quite helpful. So my mistake is the flaring out, and what I didn't do, and I normally do it, not always, not every garment needs it, but this garment definitely does. In the last round, before you start the ribbing, I quite often do a lot of decreases, because when you do the ribbing, it can be flaring out a little bit. And when you do a lot of decreases, you get that shape that it's a bit going to the inside. I don't know how you know what I mean. So I knit my whole garment on 2.5 millimeter needles. Normally I always do my ribbing with a smaller needle, but I didn't want to. I just want to knit. And the ribbing at the neckline was pretty good at 2.5. It is quite interesting because the ribbing at the bottom is way more loose than this ribbing, and it's knitted in the on the exactly same needles. So when you go down a needle size, sometimes it goes in a natural way, the flaring in. I don't know if that's the right term, but if this is flaring out, this is flaring in. It's not right, but you know what I mean. But it didn't happen. It's just too wide. So what I will do is I will... I didn't cut off my yarn ball. I had a feeling that it needs another try. So I will rip out the ribbing and the last round before the ribbing, and then I will do quite some decreases. I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 4, 26, 28, 30. I think 30 stitches. That's quite an amount of stitches, but I think I want 30 decreases. So I will insert it in the knitting calculator I always use online. When you Google knitting calculator, you can find several. And I will insert the amount of stitches. I have to check the pattern that are on my needles, and then I will insert the 30 decreases, and then the knitting calculator will tell me exactly how many decreases how I have to divide the decreases. Knit 3, knit 2 together, knit 3, knit, doesn't matter how, but the knitting calculator will tell me. And of course I can calculate it myself, but that doesn't bring me joy, so why should I do it? I just want to knit. So I will do that. And you might have seen me not really struggling, trying several ways of bind off. That's also, I have my favorite ways of bind off, but it also depends on the garment, the yarn you are knitting with, the knitting project. It can be a sock, it can be a sweater or a cardigan. I really needed several tries to find the perfect balanced bind off for this project. I did, in the end, I ended with a crochet bind off with a 3.5 millimeter needles, and it is actually the same as a regular bind off. I started with binding off in pattern, but I didn't really like the look of it. I love the chain of a straight bind off, and this way it has the perfect balance between not too tight and not too loose. It's looking nice and neatly, but it's also not too tight. So there is a limit of stretching out, but it's quite a big limit. Yeah, it won't bother me. So as you may, I don't know if you can see it now, but I did film a little bit before, so you can see the flaring out. Yeah, this part will disappear and it will go more inside, and I think it will be perfect then. So yeah, this is my knitting journey. It's really nice. In those daily episodes I can really share those details with you, then you can see it, and it's the way I always knit. But when I only make weekly episodes, I can't show you the details because they are already fixed and solved, and yeah, they are already happened. So this is very interesting. Yeah, I will do it, and then I only have to knit the sleeves, and that will be very easy because I think it's only a little bit of stockinette in the round, and then also the ribbing, the quite short sleeves. You can also make the sweater with long sleeves. I do have enough yarn for it, but I really want a summer tee. And yeah, it really, I really love the look of it. It's so cute. I think it's really a cute t-shirt. And I'm already thinking of making a black one too. I have the same yarn in black. Maybe I want a black one. It's so... Now let me see how it will block out and wear it for a while. But maybe I can play with the textured stitches. Maybe I can make up some textures my own. But it's really feeling lovely. Yeah, so I am happy, and I will fix the rest of the garment. I don't think I will make it today because we are going out for the night, and it will be a weekend thing tomorrow night, I guess. So that's perfect. Okay, that was it for today. Today it is Thursday. That means tomorrow will be Friday. And I make episodes on Friday too, but you can only see them in the membership part of my YouTube channel, the Heart Jumping Friday part. You are more than welcome to become a member if you want to. And if you are able to, there are a lot of Heart Jumping Friday members, and that's really heart jumping to me. I make videos there in which I answer all your questions. So if you have any questions to me about the things you saw in my episode last week, or about your own knitting or crochet, or about the Dutchy things, or whatever, the personal things, you can ask me anything and I will answer them in those Friday episodes. They are really fun to make. So thank you if you are a member. And if you are interested in being a member, you can find the link to the membership part down below in the show notes. It's important you open the link in your internet browser and not in the YouTube app, because then it will not work. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Yeah, and if you don't want to be a member, if you are not able to become a member, then I hope to see you next week. I wish you a very nice weekend, hopefully filled with a lot of knitting and crochet time, a lot of heart jumping moments, and if you can't find them, create them. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.